Hey guys, I'm back. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Again, I'm Heather. Woke.Ones.Revolution is my jam, and thank you for joining me. I hope you all are doing so well. I know things have been kind of crazy lately. A lot of shakeups since we last talked. There's been an election. I know all kinds of things are culminating in people's lives. You guys are seeing all the memes going around about the cardinal signs, being jazzed about Pluto moving into Aquarius on the 19th. We'll go into that. But I, for one, am one of those, Aries rising, but I'm an early degree Aquarius moon. So I've been I'm going to be looking at Pluto coming at my moon before too long. But yeah, big changes for everybody. And it's going to be a huge sigh of relief for a lot of the cardinal signs. Again, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Those are the four cardinal signs that have been going through it since about 2008. So, um, yeah, anyways, that's been on my mind big time. And I wanted to get around to doing a recording on just that, and I think I will later. But for today, I wanted to jump on and talk to you about this Taurus full moon that we're having on Friday, the 15th of November, 2024. It's a pretty big one. It's conjunct the revolutionary change maker Uranus. It's going to shake some things up and glad you guys are jumping in to hear a little bit about the forecast. It's better to be, on, the up and up on what's going on with the energies so that you don't let those overwhelming emotions of the full moon get the best of you. So, anyhow, appreciate you guys. Nothing real new with me. Um, Kind of been just taking it easy, doing a lot of reflection and stuff. Saturn's in my 12th house. So it's really got me just thinking long term and working on some adjustments that I need to do for myself and, you know, my career, my, well-being, my mental health, my physical health, all those things. So, yeah, I've just been taking it easy, laying back in life as kind of the world seems to be in chaos all around me. As far as the election, I'm not going to talk much about that at all. I will just say that I've seen a lot of people getting extra emotional and all worked up. And with Mercury up in Sagittarius, opposing, Jupiter over in Gemini across the board, it's making people be, really vocal about their beliefs. And, I think everybody has a right to believe in whatever they want to believe. It's not my job here to change anybody's mind on anything. I know what I accept in my life and what I don't, and what I value and what I don't think two thoughts about. Ultimately, I would just say if you're one that's finding yourself struggling with the results of the election, keep in mind that everything happens for a reason. Okay. Um, with And I know I wasn't really going to go there, but I'm going to go there since I'm talking about it. But with Pluto leaving Capricorn and being at the very tail end for these last few days, and going to move into Aquarius, Aquarius is about the people, all the people. It's about communities. It's the larger network of life, and it's also rebellious. We're going through some revolutionary energies right now, more so than and more so than in a long time. And a lot of the reason for that is because Pluto it came around when our country, or the United States, for those of you that are not from here, um, the founding of our country happened, basically at the last time that Pluto was in this position, right? That's when our country was founded. So if you think about Pluto being the change maker and everything, uprooting all the deep secrets and getting to the bottom of things, transparency is there. We're in for some revolutionary changes, and I, for one, believe that no matter who is in office, a lot of these changes were going to happen anyways, but I do really think that there's about to be some major shifts within the way that politics are done. Um, you know, uh, I think that there's going to be alterations to the Constitution or amendments, Um, it's our Pluto return, basically, of our country. And this is our first one, really. I mean, it's insane that, it takes what, 248 years. I'm didn't even expect to talk about this, so don't quote me on my numbers, but it's been, hundreds of years since we've gone through this kind of revolutionary change, and it's due. Things can't stay stagnant too long. Now, on the other end, Pluto going into Aquarius, you're going to see the digital age just come even faster. But I would say, if you're, especially when it comes to this full moon in Taurus, I'll talk to you guys more about that. But what I was going to get at is, if there is something, a cause, a belief that you hold, perhaps if you're feeling extra triggered about that, um, there's some deep reflection needed about the whys behind it. And you know what? More importantly, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Okay. I mean, you can have a belief in whatever, but when I see all these people crying and, being like, oh my gosh, the world's over, all my friends that have a label, whether it be, the LGBTQ or women's rights, all of that is still in play and going to be in play and part of this picture going forward for the next 18 years. It's going to be huge. So if you think about what the fuck you're going to do with it, maybe if it means that much to you, that means that that's a cause that you need to advocate for, write your senators, start start coupling with other people that are just as passionate about it and do something about it, have your own little personal revolution. I think that all of this is meant just for that. And whether or not you like Donald Trump or not, um, guy's got balls, and he's willing to stir up and make some of the changes that many weren't. Yeah, he's offensive, to a lot of people. Dude doesn't have much tact. But ultimately, I mean, you can already see that he's starting to have choices, or picking cabinet members, or, the people that he wants, running things with him. And he's being pretty eclectic about it, being a little more choosy than he was last time. So hopefully we don't see everybody getting fired within 5 minutes of, assuming a role. But anyhow, neither here nor there. Things will be okay. You will be okay. As long as stay on the higher vibe of things, don't get into heated arguments with with people over things. Everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe, and who are you to question them? I mean, we're all here playing out our charts, you know, we are. It's I would just I would just say do some reflection on it, about where, if you're going to have this be part of your narrative, and it gets you that upset, maybe just reflect on why and try to sort it out with people of like minds. Keep your minds open. This is a time, especially in even right now with this full moon happening conjunct Uranus, it's a time that we really need to buckle down and be open to new, be open to the unexpected, be willing and flexible and adaptable to change your mind. Because, it's if you're not understanding the why behind it without getting butthurt, maybe talk to somebody that you respect and care about and have an open conversation about why they voted for him and help, open up the conversation. It's the pitting against, you know, me versus you, my values versus your values. This is all a theme in this full moon. So keeping that in mind, you know, um, be open to change. I know Taurus is not too open to change, and that's exactly where this full moon is happening. It's happening at 24 degrees of Taurus. Um, and being conjunct Uranus, it's also conjunct Algol. We've talked about Algol. It's a very powerful fixed star. It's known as the demon star. It's also known as the star of great wealth. Um, Donald Trump actually has that conjunct his midheaven, which is, basically how you're seen in the world, how you're seen in the outer world. It's your legacy that you leave after you pass away. It has to do with, you probably heard me talk about this in previous videos, but Algol is the fixed star that has to do with also beheading, losing your status, losing your head about something. It doesn't have to be physical, but sometimes, or literal, but sometimes it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm just sitting here playing with my cards. If you're wondering why I'm fidgeting, I'm in my zone, so I'm flowing. Anyways, this intense full moon's going to urge us to kind of break free of some of our old fixed ways, break free from some habits that are long overdue of needing to let go of. Um, but yeah, be ready to embrace some necessary changes. Change is necessary. Taurus doesn't really like change. And if so, it's got to be gradual, right? Taurus is a fixed sign. So if you think about the bull, it gets very stuck. It's very steadfast and and you know and what it wants and what it wants to go for. But yeah, I mean, you heard me say your values, their values. Well, it also, I mean, this full moon is on that Taurus-Scorpio axis. Okay. And that polarity is powerful. And it connects stability, self-worth, shared resources, and deep emotional bonds, right? It's this full moon's an invitation to examine, what we do really truly value and need. Okay. But yeah, you can expect surprises around, well, obviously relational surprises, but surprises around finance, security, and um, just try to keep your cool as best as you can, because things are going to be shaken up, right? So if you figure this full moon is happening except conjunct Uranus, which is, like I said, the Tower card in the tarot, the change maker, sudden, unexpected events. Best advice I can give you just out of the start is to expect the unexpected. Okay. Um, so I did look up the Sabian symbol for this full moon. We round up, even though it's 24 on the dot degrees, this full moon, the super full moon, let me correct myself and add one more ad lib before I go into the Sabian. So this moon is like, it's kind of known as like the frost moon, obviously because it's getting colder and colder, but it's the last supermoon of the year. And a supermoon, what's that, Heather? Obviously big, duh. But it's actually because it's closer to the earth, right? So if you think about how the moon affects the tides in the ocean, right? Um, the tide comes in and the tide comes out. It all has to do with the gravitational pull of the moon, right? So if you think about hmm, how do I say this? How impacting the moon is to something here on the earth, so much so that it affects our climate, our ocean, all of that. it it has that effect just like all the other planets do on energies, period, right? We being physical here of the earth have emotions, and this full moon being a super moon is going to amplify those emotions, right? It's going to amplify the events, the power in the events that happen. And Uranus being conjunct algal on this with this full moon all butted up right up against it, some people are going to be losing their shit, right? And I part of me wants to say, just be cautious about overreactions, other people's and yours. If things seem to be getting way too heated, maybe step back from situations, especially like out in big public areas, algal, we all know, like I just said, Trump's midheaven is conjunct has algal conjunct it. Now, the last time, and I mean algal, Uranus has been right there for a while now, but think back to, what happened in July to Mr. T. He was, somebody made an attempt on him, right? Hit the ear, but it was aiming for the head, hence algal. But yeah, you see how what I mean is like there could be cases to where people respond with abrupt, certain unexpected, ways that can be harmful to others. So, anyways, I've just rambled all over the place. Mm, I don't even know why I take notes sometimes, but the Virgo in me has to, right? Anyways, let's move forward to the Sabian symbol. So, the Sabian symbol for 25 degrees Taurus is a vast public park. Okay. So, if you think about a public park, that speaks to shared resources, right? Uh, but also simplicity, the nature of just being able to share an environment, a beautiful environment with others outdoors, enjoying the simple things in life. It also speaks to like grounding yourself in nature, right? And Taurus is a earth sign. So, but surrounding yourself in a nurturing community as well. Find joy in the small things, and what's sustainable and steady in your life. Meanwhile, meanwhile, the sun is up. I also looked at the sun Sabian symbol because it's always important when you're looking at one point on the chart to realize that that has a polar opposite, and that polar opposite shares an energy, right? So I looked at 25 Scorpio, which is the other side of the zodiac where the sun is sitting. The sun is on Scorpio 24 and the moon's on Taurus 24. So we round up for the Sabian symbol. So the sun in Scorpio Sabian symbol at 25 brings An X-ray photograph is is the interpretation of that one. So it's basically bringing in that big eye, that magnifying glass. It reminds me, it's very scorpionic, right? If the sun's in Scorpio, ruled by Mars and Pluto, Pluto likes deep, dark, hidden things. So the sun being right there, polar opposite to the super full moon, is basically an emblem looking beneath the surface to uncover hidden truths. So, together, if you kind of put them all together, it emphasizes the need for practical foundations with emotional depth, inviting you to seek out what actually truly fulfills you, both materially and emotionally. Okay. Now, there are some other key aspects of this full moon I want to mention. One of them being that Venus in Capricorn is going to be squaring the nodes of fate. Okay. Um, ruling, I mean, Venus is the ruler of the Taurus full moon. But her being up in Capricorn, it basically prompts you to carefully examine your commitments. Okay, that's just one of the things. But the square to the nodes is going to push us to prioritize those long term goals, relationships, and investments to help align with our values and let the shit go that no longer serves our highest path. Right. Being square the nodes of fate, Venus up in Capricorn is very studious, right? If you think about I always just see Venus and Capricorn as a chick wearing a big old, a nice business suit. She's a boss. She's kind of like boss bitch. She's a lot more serious, and she knows her stuff, and she doesn't play around with petty things, right? She'll be really quick to school you, but she is slow. She is a little slower moving in the Earth sign of Capricorn because she doesn't want to look a fool, right? Now she is getting a little bit of pressure from Mars. I did want to mention that. So I know I think she's making a square. Um, from Capricorn down to Mars and Leo. Okay, so Mars being in Leo, it's all jazz the F up, it's boisterous and going, it is vibrant and full of life, and wanting to make things move and move fast. Fire, Mars he's pretty happy there in Leo, right? You figure Mars is fire sign. Leo is a fire sign, or a planet of fire. But basically, it's feeling pretty good and pretty confident down there in Leo. And hey, we got to get this shit done. We got to get moving on a project. We got to get going on this stuff. Oh, the kids need this and need that. It's the fifth house. Sorry, but that's where I think of Mars and Leo is typically like that, but it basically pushing all the things. But hey, I also want to create this, and I'm an entrepreneur, so my business, I got to get this done, I got to get this done, I got to get this done. And Venus is like, fucking stop, like I got this shit, like chill the fuck out, Mars. Quit pushing, quit projecting on me. That's kind of a visual way to look at it, basically. So she's owning her stuff up there, but yeah, so she's aspecting it and making us look at our, what it is that we value, what we love, what we like, what we um, aspire for. Right. So, anyways, moving on, one other huge thing that I need to talk about. Saturn's been direct or has been in retrograde, right? In Pisces, causing us to do some of the reflection, like what I talked about at the beginning of the video. Saturn in Pisces makes people take deep looks into unconscious matters, things that we do, things that we believe spiritually is one of them. And, in Pisces, Saturn's in there checking us on our self undoing, right? It's Saturn's the planet of karma. So, anyways, that Mr. Saturn, time, Chronos, karma, is is stationing direct on the same day as this crazy ass full moon, right? He's waking up from his slumber in retrograde in Pisces land, and he's going to need a minute. He's got to get his coffee. He's still hermiting in there. He's stationary, right? Which means not moving. But he's turned around and he's ready to take action on, these Pisces matters, right? So Saturn's going to go direct at 13 degrees, and Saturn's stationed direct at 13. Let me real quickly here look this up. I had the Sabian symbol, but I think I moved it a little bit. Okay. So you have to excuse me. I'm taking my time. Oh yeah. I think it's 12. I think my brain went fried there. So it's the Sabian symbol for this one for 13 Pisces is a sword used in many battles in a museum, right? So it's sword put up for display. It's a potent reminder to apply wisdom gained from past struggles, right? The sword being on the wall in the museum or being displayed means it has been, right? It's been used. Hey, if somebody needs to break it out, it's there if you need to grab it. But what wisdom did you gain? From those past struggles and fights. It represents experience, resilience, and as Saturn actually is going to square, kind of elaborating further in this, Saturn's going to square Mercury in Sagittarius, right? And so with this square, Saturn's checking Mercury, like, are you sure you want to say that? Because saying that's going to have some repercussions, and have you thought about that, right? So Saturn's going to encourage you to choose your words wisely, and your actions, not just your words. So because Mercury is also movement, but yeah, releasing those old thought patterns or beliefs that no longer serve you. Mercury and Sag is all about beliefs, right? And remember, beliefs have nothing to do with fact. I can't say that enough. Beliefs have nothing to do with facts, right? And Saturn's checking your mental clarity as he's squaring up with Mercury there, making sure that you're coming at it with clean, clear sense of mind, and not just based off of a belief system that may or may not be true. But he's urging you to let go of any illusions. Pisces, Saturn and Pisces. Saturn's restricts, dissolves, and takes away, right? So he's helping you release any illusions you may have had about things, and help you be able to make some grounded, more intentional choices. So. Now, also, let's just remember that in addition to this, we still have, and I didn't realize I was sitting so close to my computer. Sorry, guys. We still have um, that Mars Pluto opposition happening. It's intensifying the full moon as if it as if it needed any more, right? But yeah, more of the power struggle stuff, right? And Mars is in Leo now, and literally Pluto is at the final minutes of Capricorn. And on the 19th is going to be moving into Aquarius. So, that boisterous Mars, is opposing steadfast, firm Capricorn up there, thinking it's got all of its shit together, right? And they're kind of, button heads a little bit. So that opposition is going to bring, also with Pluto Mars, it's about desires, right? So it's also going to just power struggles, your deepest desires, but also repressed desires and energies. Okay. And so with that opposition, you're going to be asked to consciously engage with your power and your passions being distributed properly, right? So I don't know, almost like needing to be adaptable. Okay. So choosing transformation over action, or overreaction, right? Be adaptable to that change. So there are some sweeter aspects that we have, and I always like Venus moons. I really do. So whether it's a Libra moon or a Taurus moon, I love the Venusian themed moons. Um, so Venus is in Capricorn, like I mentioned, squaring the nodes. We've talked about Saturn direct, but also the full moon is creating a cradle, and basically, um, the moon is trining. What is it? The sun's trining Neptune, the moon's trining Pluto. So yeah, there we go. I'm all ass backwards, but whatever. So I'm trying to visualize the chart in my head because I don't have it pulled up in front of me. But the Pluto in Capricorn and Neptune in Pisces add support. The trines from Pluto and Neptune that are hitting the sun and moon, they're adding that positive support. So it's kind of neat because all the outer planets are actually involved in this full moon. And so one way to look at that, because they're the slow movers, right? But they mean serious business and help with long-term change. They whatever is going on right now and closing out and culminating is for the long term. It is not short term. And I said that even in the last Scorpio new moon video. Like, be intentional, right? Be intentional for the long term, because what changes are happening right now are for good. There's finality behind it. So those trines, um, from Capricorn and Pisces, are bringing some practicality to the lunation and softening the intensity a bit. They encourage, a compassionate release of the past, which is something typically Pisces has a hard time with, just mentioning, and assisting you in accepting the changes at hand and connecting with your soul's purpose. So, um, there's a deep soul story, transformation happening right now. So compassion is going to be extra important, not just for others, but for yourself as you're going through these changes. So, anyways, I've gone through enough of this here. I think I'm going to go ahead and jump forward and move into the 12 rising signs. And hey, I brought the cards today. I don't even know if you can see them here. Mm, Oh, they invisible. I have tarot cards, I promise. Oh, speaking of which, how fitting. I was just shuffling and oh, that sucks. Oh. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, yeah, you just heard the ugly Heather laugh. I love that. But anyways, the Tower card, even though the bull's trying to cover it up. There. Oh, I got it. There's the Tower card. That's some Uranian energy. And I just heard earthquakes. So like you may notice that with this full moon and the supermoon being closer to Earth, I was talking about environmental changes that are happening. Besides expecting that some crazy shit's going to happen in politics, because it still will. Secrets being revealed, you're probably going to hear some more stuff come out. And keeping in mind that somebody has a very boisterous voice and opinion about everything and doesn't really care much about the truth, but has a lot of beliefs to spill and speak of, probably expect some more unexpected shit to come out of everybody's mouths in politics, and probably some really like. And then I just heard nuclear. I just heard nuclear reactor. So I really hope this doesn't happen. And then I just heard trains, and then my brain just showed me Palatine, Illinois, where the chemicals. So wow. Okay. I'm just getting a bunch of downloads all of a sudden. So now I'm being shown Saturn being stationed in Pisces. We'll get into the signs in a minute. This is the cool shit, right? So Saturn being stationed, not moving. Saturn's a fucking wall. Okay. This full moon in Taurus is like a fucking wall. It, so what I'm getting shown is that we can expect that there might be some move. I'm hearing movement. I'm hearing shakeups, right? But and then I just saw Joe Biden, uh something happening with him, illness, Pisces 12th house, and him maybe stepping down. And then I saw the environmental concerns because of invisible um so like if you think about Pisces also rules gases. Okay. And so like the unseen, right? Those unseen gases and chemicals, toxins, things like that. And then since I got the reactor, the radioactive thing at first, it makes me think of Uranus and Algol, and this full moon. We're probably going to see some big earthquakes, shakeups, and maybe that there's going to be some sort of problem with like a nuclear power plant, and maybe even a result of the earthquake. And I am not getting position wise, but I mean, this is just around the world. um yeah. Okay. So sorry guys, it was just a lot. And I'm one of those that although, okay, so I'm just gonna keep talking, because why the fuck not? You're here, right? So a little bit about me. Okay, so I'm an Aries rising. I have a Virgo sun at 1 degree. And this my Mercury is at 28 Leo. And my Mercury and my sun are in the fifth house. Have fun, kiddos, hobbies, you know, all the cool shit, sexy time, all the fun stuff, Okay. Hobbies. But anyways, so my sun and my Mercury are conjunct. And so I get a lot. I process my Mercury. I think about stuff before I let it go. My Venus is behind it in Cancer, right? And so I feel things first, and then I see them, hear them, process them, want to spit them out. My son right there, it wants to get it out, but sometimes it's so fast, it isn't that easy. Things get jumbled. And being a Aries rising, I grew up playing a lot of sports. I was a tomboy. I was the girl that would go out and ride my bike until the streetlights came on. I'd go play ball. I grew up playing fast pitch. I was a catcher. I loved being in every single play, and I don't know how the hell I handled the heat and doing all that crap now. I live in Kansas, so it gets pretty fucking hot here in the summer with no relief. And I'm like, how did I ever do that? But I was pretty athletic all through up and through high school. And I've had my fair share of head injuries. Aries rules the head. Okay. I've had a lot of concussions, whether it be from sports, car wrecks, things like that. So if you think about like when I start going somewhere and then all of a sudden I'm squirrel, I'm over here, it's because that's just how my brain works. And so when things come out wrong, and that's been one of the things that kept me from recording for so long because of, the Virgo need and the Aquarius need to not look stupid, one, not look or sound stupid. Things get jumbled. And you know what I realize? I am who I am. And I have messages for people that I know have helped me, and if I can help anybody, that's what it's about, right? So I appreciate your graciousness and compassion and interest in coming to even hear what I have to say. It really means the world to me. And, helping others is my passion. Being a Virgo sun, service to others is my passion. And being embedded with a natural chart, I was very blessed in this life. Oh, I could say blessed, but hey, I also have Pluto on my descendant, exacts, pretty much. So like every relationship, whether it's superficial, platonic, or it's every single relationship I have had has been very transformational. A lot of them for, well, most of, people that are close to me are pretty long term, right? I, the trust thing, the power struggles, and I'm so lighthearted that I really just take people for who they are, whether, you think they're bad, good, or whatever. I see the beauty in everybody, and everything's pretty transformational. So my time here with you, it means the world from the bottom of my heart. It is, it's extremely fulfilling to finally be working on my path. This shit's been calling me for, gosh, since 2018 to get on and start recording and stuff, but I was too chicken shit. North Node in the fifth house. Yep. Fifth house Leo North Node. The Leo, the lion, the actor, afraid to be seen, but needing to perform. And yeah, so anyways, that's kind of my story. I am all over the place. Do I need more caffeine to level out? I know, isn't that crazy? But anyways, let's get started on the rising signs. Thank you for the scroll moment. Ooh, so we'll go ahead and start out with Aries. So Aries, this full moon is illuminating your second house, right? It's pretty important. Your second house is naturally ruled by Taurus. And so it's going to point out the finances, your finances, your values. It's going to cause you to reassess, what actually makes you feel secure. That's not always easy. Expect revelations around money or possessions as Uranus shakes up your routine. Okay. So you may actually, this is a financial house. Um, Although you should be, aligning your resources with who you're becoming, and invest in your independence. I would also say you may actually end up having some sort of a windfall, or if you do have a windfall, the other side of that, I guess, would be you may just feel the urge to spend too much, especially with Uranus. It's all about independence, right? So, um, so with that, you may feel the sudden urge to go splurge on yourself, and I just keep that aligned with your focus on where you're going. Don't overextend yourself, okay, Aries. I have talked so much. I'm going to make these really short on the rising signs. The nuts and bolts were at everything. We're already there in the beginning. All right. So just shuffling real quick here. Mm. Hey, by the way, I know I didn't pimp myself, but I better. So if you guys do like what you're hearing, like my content, think my content is helpful, please feel free to share it. Everybody needs a little help sometimes, and it's not often that people will ask for help or advice or guidance or even know where to go. So feel free to share my video if you like what I have to say, you like what I'm dropping. Hit that like button and subscribe. Um, I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. I am still doing personal readings. I've been pretty bogged down. So I mean, but I do still have some openings available. If you're interested, Woke.Ones.Revolution.astro@gmail.com is my email. You can send me an email, and I can forward you information on my rates. Also, look in the descriptors of my channel, and you'll see all of my socials and whatnot there. Excuse me, drop cards. But yeah, um, feel free to reach out and comment. Hey, if you got something to say, got some advice for people, got questions, feel free to put them in my comments. I'll respond. All right, so we're gonna do one quick shuffle. I'm sorry, I'm shaking my table, so the camera's getting wobbly. All right. So for Aries, don't they're trying to talk in a story. I just want one card. That's it. Just one card. They're all sticking to each other. Ooh. Calm down there, Turbo. We don't need a story, just one. This might have been a bad idea. All right. There we go. Ooh, we got the Page of Swords. Let's see if I can show this to you. And it really does not want to cooperate. I'm sorry. Let me put it in front of my face. There we go. That's so cool. So the Page of Swords, in this picture, you see it's like ideas, you know. Swords are air. Got ideas, got birds in flight, light hair, air blowing through the hair, tiptoeing, tiptoeing across that tightrope. Carefree, right? The Page of Swords is very carefree. And, this card also very much speaks to creativity, learning a new topic, subject, exploring a new passion, highlighting, your intellect, something that challenges your intellect a little bit. Stay open, stay carefree. I know that things aren't so comfortable during this time for you. And actually, as Aries, you guys, everything is a natural house. So you're feeling the energies double, basically. So hang in there, move swiftly, maybe don't let your ideas get carried away. Stay grounded. You may have to that tiptoeing. I keep getting drawn to that tiptoe. It's windy as fuck. What's she tiptoeing across there for? It takes some bravery, right, to go with deal with what you're going through, right? And I would just say create, write, journal. If you're feeling heated about something you're finding that maybe you don't even really fully understand everything, study deeper into it. Um, take different perspectives your um, into your area, like into your space, and stay light and flexible. Keep things lighthearted. The Taurus full moon is probably going to illuminate some stuff for you. And it may even take you on a journey into a new passion. So that's what I got for you, Aries. Let's move forward to Taurus and Taurus rising. So this full moon is all about you, Taurus. It's in your first house, right? It's going to invite you to reflect on how you actually present first house, yourself, and assert yourself and your needs. Okay. Uranus is probably going to bring you some unexpected insights, urging you to redefine your self worth, and release outdated images and embrace the changes that truly support your identity. Like, I could totally, with the, this being on you, hey, Venus is direct, baby. If you need a makeover, if you need to, you know, if you're wanting to reinvent yourself and, be bold with it. It's okay to be a little bold with this. I think Uranus is really inviting you to embrace something a little different, so if you need a hair's cut, you need your nails did. I do my own, by the way. Being an artist, I can't. Yeah, I got to do my own stuff. Oh, but anyways, get your nails did. Um, it's I ought to. So funny. I don't even know that I wanted to say that, but I'm gonna say it because it came. So the tour, I automatically thought of, if you need a lift, a booby lift, you need a tummy tuck, you need um, you just need to buy yourself some flowers to make your house smell better so you feel better. I know that sounds silly, but that's just all the things that I was just seeing go play out. But yeah, jazz yourself up a bit, go do you for a little bit. That Uranus independence is asking you to go ahead and, you know, um it's hitting your appearance, right? And how you project yourself outwardly. Are you finding yourself way too comfy all the time in your sweatpants and um, slippers? Okay. Maybe it's time to, you know, take out the card, the cash, and actually go to a department store or shop online, whatever you prefer, and pick yourself out some new kicks. Get yourself some new get up gear, right? Everything, this full moon's shining on you, and it's time for change. It's time for change. And nobody's going to look at you any different about it. They're probably just going to be happy for you. So, anyways, whoa, for you guys, let me see if I can get this to show. Yeah, I'll put it in front of my face. The High Priestess. My hair is so red. This is my natural color. I'm just a redhead right now, very auburn. Anyway, she has auburn hair too. The high priestess, yeah. So, with the energies that you're dealing with, um, I'm sure you're probably internalizing a lot of it. Okay. And that's what the high priestess does. She internalizes what she feels, what she knows. She sits in it, she has higher knowledge and she's accepting that intuition. You see it just flowing in. It's flowing in through her crown, right? And in order to keep this position, you can't allow yourself to get too worked up, right? So follow your intuition when it comes to the changes that you're going through. Um, maybe even I just so I also just saw basically a Taurus when you're getting your new clothes, force yourself to let go of some. Okay. So if you're running out of room to put shit, time to start purging. And it's almost like I hear a female being like, okay, well, if you're going to get that you have to throw it for every item you get, you got to throw out two. So maybe there's a hoarding problem that's been happening and it's time for you to start purging that stuff. So anyways, Voila, that's what I got from my Taurus. I love you guys. All right, so let's move forward into Gemini. I'm excited for you, Tauruses. I really am. It's time to make some changes, and I think that the changes that you're going to make are going to truly help soothe your soul and redefine how you value yourself, because I think that a lot of you have been pretty down lately and you've been under a lot of pressure. So lighten the load a little bit, embrace that high priestess, and she loves to explore the unknown. So have fun with that. Anyways, Geminis, to my Geminis. So this one's happening up in your 12th house, right? Woo! So all about subconscious and spirituality. This full moon is going to highlight your inner patterns, maybe even self-sabotaging patterns, and your unconscious and unresolved fears, right? So, Uranus is going to spark sudden realizations for you that could free you from those limiting mindsets. And limitations in general. So, um, lean into Saturn's grounding influence and build some solid mental habits to help release the past with grace, right? Remember earlier where I was saying Pisces 12th house is all the same energy, right? So if this full moon is happening there for you guys, a lot of the stuff that's coming up is going to be internalized with those inner rumblings. And, it's the unseen. A lot of people fear the unseen. And it's also like, the emotional baggage, right? Reminds me of that Offspring song. She's got baggage and it's all the emotional kind, right? That's yeah, thank you for that. But it's like it's almost like I see with Gemini, very easily I can see where you may be fearing to step out and be vocal about some of the things that you're into. I believe a lot of you are very into topics that aren't easy, that are taken pretty lightly by the collective, talking about like spirituality. Um, but I also saw like paranormal, right? If you are feeling like you're holding yourself back out of a worth or value uh, position. Like you don't think you're good enough or smart enough or don't know. Um, stop that. You are good enough. And I think that this full moon is going to help you be able to release those limiting thoughts and behaviors. Also being matters on finances, I'm also being shown um, expenditures, right? So if you're just functioning on the system of let's just say you have a habit of every time I get paid, I got to get this, that, and the other thing. And none of those things are actually even really helping you move forward in life. Maybe it's time to reassess setting some of those things down. Bad habits. Ooh, I just got bad habits and addictions. So, with that, you know, are you indulging every payday? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't even have to say it, right? So are you spending too much, on recreational fun, on escaping? If so, time to time to realize that you're the one hindering your own growth. And you guys are fun to be around regardless. And I know that being alone with your thoughts isn't always the easiest thing, but Saturn's requiring here, like the Saturn and the full moon energy is it's calling on you to actually really stop and reflect on that shit and what's holding you back. Okay. Anyway, so let's go ahead and pull a card for Gemini. This is going to be such a long video. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, we got the Eight of Swords reversed. Boop. Eight of Swords reversed. I really love this depiction of this card. Like, you see she's down on her knees, desperate, desperate for answers and clarity. Down there, she's all bound up by that shit. So this speaks to this transit, right? So having a full moon happen in the area of unconscious. This Eight of Swords card very much speaks to being tied up in your own emotional mental hell, right? The Eight of Swords is an emotional, sometimes paranoia. It can be addictions. It can be false narratives, getting yourself so worked up that just are fucking stuck. Well, she ain't stuck. You see, there's birds flying around loosely wrapping her with that twine. That blindfold is loose. She's just choosing not to see or hear it. But now that this is flipped upside down, I think you guys are ready for this, and I'm excited for you with this full moon transformation, Geminis. You guys will have to let me know how it turns out. And grab it a quick drink. And then we will move into Cancer. So for my cancers, this full moon in your 11th house, hey, I always love the 11th house. So it's about friendships, future aspirations, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. So it being in the 11th house, may shift your social circle. You may find a new tribe. Love that for you. Or even your goals. You may meet a new group of people that open you up to new ideas or existing goals that you have that you haven't been able to pull off for yourself. And I just heard sometimes when we're ready for things and they're not showing up or they're not happening, it could be because the other people involved weren't ready yet, or the universe is divine. I just heard divine timing. So with divine timing, you're getting set up with some you know new opportunities to expand. So get out of your shell a little bit and network. Okay. So Uranus could, though, bring up some big surprises, highlighting your relationships and dreams that no longer align with your values. It's okay for your dreams to change. It's okay for your tribe to change. Not everybody evolves with you. Right. Some people stay in their current existence and consciousness. And, universe is this really cool way of pairing us up with people that meet us at our level of consciousness. So, build connections that reflect your true self and let go of those that don't and those that drain you. Okay. Let's see what card we have for the Cancers. Just get one, please. I haven't used this deck in a while. I have a couple of the same deck. Ooh, it just flew down on the floor. Excuse me. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful card. We got the Six of Wands for my Cancers. You finally feel seen. This community or this 11th house vibe is shining the lights down on you, and it's making you feel victorious. I do love this for you guys. I mean, that Six of Wands is inspirational. It's victorious. It's mm, experiences happening for you is kind of what I just heard. It's people celebrating you for who you are, not who you used to be, is what I'm hearing. So yeah, get out of the crab mode and let your gifts be known. I mean, who are you to be holding those gifts back from the world when they really need you? Love you, Cancers. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move forward to my Leo. Leo and Leo rising. This one's all about, well, it's in your 10th house. It's all about career, reputation, legacy. It's gonna invite fresh insights into your professional path, which is, Leo loves to shine. Um, Uranus, though, may stir up some sudden changes within that realm, urging you to embrace your uniqueness. Trust the shifts in your career. Okay. Trust that they're guiding you towards more meaningful work that actually resonates with your values. I know, you guys shine your light so brightly and you are so creative. And the changes that are happening for you in your 10th house, I really am excited that this is actually going to help you embrace you for your uniqueness. And, keep an eye out. I think something's about to be shown to you that you hadn't really considered before about your career. And I know that big career moves, changes are scary. But I mean, who am I kidding? You guys really are innovative, and shine your light really nowhere, everywhere you go. You did get the Nine of Swords, okay? So this is really calling on you to get out of your damn head about the fears. You see that? And all of those black crows, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There is one white one of divine light. Okay. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and there is a place for you to shine. Okay. Don't fret about whether you're going to be good enough, whether you're going to be liked. Leos really do like to be liked. Um, they like to be admired. So if you're finding yourself, and it's also, there's an invisible bed. So the Nine of Swords. mm, Well, shit. I'm trying to show you, but okay. Well, whatever. So there's an invisible bedpost behind her. So the Nine of Swords, traditionally, this person's waking up out of a nightmare. Okay. So maybe you've been in a position to where you haven't been recognized for who you are, how you function, how you work, how you do your how you handle, how you boss at life is what I just heard. How you boss at life and work, and you're not really feeling seen. Quit fretting over that. I think this time is over. This full moon is going to illuminate where you shine, like that white bird there, right? You are different. You are beautiful, Leo, and you are a value. You are a value to this world and to the people that you work with and take care of. So, anyways, I wish you guys the best with this full moon. We're going to move forward to Virgo and Virgo rising. So, with this full moon happening in your ninth house, which is all about, like I said, your beliefs, it's also about higher education, travel. New perspectives are going to emerge that challenge your old philosophies, which Virgo, although Virgo's a mutable sign, it takes a lot of solid concrete information to make a Virgo change their mind. Okay, I know this personally. Um, so Uranus, though, is shaking you up for those new ways of thinking. So be open to new truths. Don't be judgy. Don't be judgy, Virgo. Allow space for personal growth. Okay, even if it means letting go of those limited beliefs that you tend to have. Um, Yes, you guys may not believe this, but in my younger days, I was quite the asshole. I mean, I've always been friendly, but I have an Aquarius moon. I could be pretty heartless, and being a Virgo sun, I could be pretty judgy. So, it have some compassion for yourself during this time, Virgo, and for others. It's you don't have to be right all the time. Beliefs, ninth house, ruled by Jupiter. have nothing to do with facts, my dear. Okay. Now I know that you only like to believe what's really true, but keep in mind there can be more than one truth at a time. For you guys, you got the Justice card. Hey, yay! Love it. That is such a beautiful, beautiful card. You see the balancing of the scales on the sword, air, but it's got a reflection. I think this is the perfect card that actually pulled for you guys for this ninth house. So remember the duality in everything, you know? Be open to the different perspectives because you might just see something beautiful in the reflection. Love you, Virgos. We're going to move forward and get done with this bad boy. So we're halfway through. Oh, looking towards Libra. So for Libra, this one pretty intense happening in your 8th house. So, shared resources, intimacy, secrets. Anyways, urging you to evaluate whew, your joint finances, yeah, and your deep emotional connections. All right. Uranus is going to prompt you and help you break free from old attachments, encouraging you to actually invest in relationships and commitments, financial commitments that actually align with your values. Um, this time right now, I know being the polar opposite to Aries, you're feeling it. This has probably come to a point where there's something that cannot be put off to the side anymore. There's a way that you're feeling about, and I just got shown Virgo's card, the Justice card. There's Libra, you're all about balance, right? So that card came out for Virgo, but I mean, ultimately, I know that, it's time to reevaluate um, how much of yourself that you're giving to others. Okay. Are you finding that you're the one paying the majority of the bills and you have other people there that are more than capable of helping, but you're finding yourself in a position to where you've been stuck with everything on your plate. Okay. That one, that popped up to me. But you don't really mind doing things for the people that you love, but I think that you have to reevaluate the flow of things if it's causing you, if it's diminishing your self-value, right? Um, so if you're finding that you're the only one giving affection, or you're the only one giving resources out, and it's time for you, maybe it's just time for you to talk. You've really got to speak your point bluntly. I think Uranus is going to help you shake free from some of those old attachments. And I just saw Taurus's, the whole hoarding thing. Let shit go. You know, um, if you're hoarding their items just because they're nice and they like to have them, you like to have them, they make you feel good. Um, you know, maybe lend them out to somebody else that needs them, or donate the items if you're finding that. Oh, goodness. Eighth house. Then I just saw a Libra finding a new, maybe even a little secret rendezvous. I saw it like a secret rendezvous, but it was almost like a meeting of souls. So wherever that came in, you might be coming across some new people that actually see your value and see your worth and want to alleviate those burdens that you're feeling. Um, and are actually showing you. So keep an eye out. For you guys, I got the Ace of Wands. I didn't even look at it until just now, but that explains that phallic energy that I just felt. Um, maybe guys are going to be having some liaisons. But yeah. So inspiration. Notice that this Ace of Wands is firing up through the third eye chakra. Maybe this is also a time for you to just go into deep reflection and meditation. Open yourself up. To new passions and opportunities that are coming your way. Um, woo, looks like whatever's happening for you is going to help ease some of your burdens. I do like that. So we're going to go ahead and move forward, though. Love my Libras, Scorpio and Scorpio risings. And this one is actually going to be probably a pretty intense one since it's on your axis. It's on your seventh house of relationships. So this full moon is going to illuminate those partnerships, relationships, and close connections. Remember, this is also the house of open enemies and contracts. So keeping that in mind, Uranus is going to bring you some clarity about your needs and relationships, encouraging you to honor your individuality and balance commitment with self-discovery. Embrace changes that deepen connection and authenticity. I, you know, you guys have been on this journey. I remember even talking about this, I think, in the last moon video for you guys of it was your new moon. You were changing. It was affecting your identity and how you were showing yourself to the world, being in your first house of the Scorpio new moon 2 weeks ago. So looks like y'all are doing your work. Whatever you're showing out is definitely showing up. So did you meet somebody new that really makes you feel more confident in your new appearance, in the way that you're expressing yourself? I know that the Uranus in there's got you really wanting to keep that individual nature, but I see that you guys are like partnering up maybe with somebody. Could be a friend, it could be that you're getting ready to sign a lucrative contract on something. Also cool. But yeah, I'm excited for you guys. And I did get for you the Two of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Um, and with that, you see she's doing some juggling, right? So juggling is just turn it up the right way. So with that, I've never really noticed that, but it looks like her ass is right there. It almost looks like pants and an ass, like the jeans, like jeans or something like that. Like she's ass backwards. And I guess kind of that's what this meaning is, right? So, juggling too many things at once, so with that, and I don't know where that thought just came from, or who this is guided towards, but that is just a remembrance that you do not need somebody else to feel whole. Okay, so if you are prone to, and I'm getting this out of the blue, so this is an important message. If you are prone to codependency, if you're prone to ending up with in toxic relationships, this would also encourage that, be careful with your intentions when you're working on a full moon with your seventh house. I'd say more about closing out some of those things, but it's really important that you balance the spirit with the physical, and help. I'm getting that basically, like, don't jump into something too seriously too fast, um, because there's an imbalance. There is an imbalance there. So although you're looking fine as, fine as sunshine, you know, uh, just kind of keep an eye out for people's intentions, yours and theirs. Remember the duality and everything. And, don't take on too much at once. You don't want to commit to too many things, make too many contractual agreements that maybe you're not ready financially for. So the Two of Pentacles, right? Pentacles is, it's a purse, but you figure time, money, it's tangible, right? So don't get in over your head with your expenditures and all your newness of you and your relationships. Don't overspend, and yeah, don't get swept away with the wind either. Got to find a way to stay grounded during this full moon. Taurus is going to ask you to do that. So, anyways, good luck to my Scorpios. We're going to move forward. I am so running out of time. So, for Sag and Sag rising, this full moon's happening in your sixth house. So, all about your daily routines, rituals, work, baby, work, health focus, and just your overall well being. Uranus here is going to bring some unexpected changes to your work habits and environment, likely. So be flexible. Saturn's influence is going to help you build sustainable routines that support your long-term goals. And so with that, for my Sages, it's a great time for you if you do need to shake some things up, maybe quit some bad habits. This full moon is here to help support that. So I don't, and then I just, I saw the fire energy in the Sag and you really needing to get out. So maybe with that, the sixth house, you're feeling pretty serious about it. Maybe it's time to start a new workout regimen, or diet mm, if you're finding yourself that you're needing to let go of a habit, whether it be, and I'm talking about a habit that interferes with your health in your everyday, right? So we can all think of the toxic habits that people have. I don't need to run through them, but if you need to quit smoking, you need to um, stop drinking, if there's something you need to stop, if you're doing too much of it, it's hindering you or it's hindering your health. And this full moon is really pointing out that it's time for you to be willing to adapt to different perspectives. And I also encourage you, if you're having a hard time finding some of the modalities or ways to go about implementing changes, or you're finding yourself blank and what the hell do I do? Um, good, goodness gracious, open TikTok, go on YouTube, find something that you're interested in and, you know, explore it, how to's, DIYs, tips, tricks, all the things is something that people really like in the first house. I just drew the Nine of Swords and Justice again. So that's the running theme, guys. I'm not gonna do that one for you. Let me do this one more time. That is just how it goes sometimes. All right. So I need a card for my Saggies. I wish you guys the best during this full moon. You just got the World card. Boop, boop. Very cool. All right. So I love the World card on this one. Speaks to all the elements and a new beginning, all encompassing, finding new grounding practices and maybe even meditation. This world is ripe for you for your picking, right? And you get to choose how to integrate and how to adapt to and create your own world. So, if you maybe need to get in just a meditation practice, you wake up for work or to get your day started, do you have a little altar with all your pretties or spiritual place? Do you need to light an incense and just sit with some meditative music and just ground? That world card's calling for you, baby. It's ready for you. So I wish you guys the best, Saggies. For my Cappies, this is happening in your fun house. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth house. Yeah, so in your fifth house of creativity and romance, sexy time. This full moon's going to encourage you to explore your passions. And Uranus is right there to help amplify that bad boy, right? And help you break free from stagnant routines. It's going to bring spontaneity into your creative projects and your love life. Woo, like I said, sexy time. So embrace what makes you happy, brings you joy, and aligns with your heart's desires, my Capricorns. Time for y'all to lighten the F up. Okay. Enjoy this as Pluto's exiting your sign. I know you're singing, you are ready for this time. And you've been needing this kind of a break. So I wish you well during this full moon, Mike Happies, and let's see what card I can get pulled for you um, for this full moon. All right, so dang with these major arcana, you got the wheel. Big moves, big time, big karmic time for you. It has been. And I think it's actually speaking more to freeing yourself from karma, right? Karmic situations, and embracing life with a childhood wonder, right? The wheel of fate can spin and spin and spin, and it could be good, it could be bad, but it's all about how you take the ride, right? If you balance the light and the dark, the good with the bad, the fun versus the boring, you guys will be good to go. So just keep that in mind. I love that you guys got this because it's like you are at that pinnacle. You are standing at the top of that wheel going, made it, bitch. Not just made it, conquered that bitch. Bye, Pluto. But I wish you guys well during this full moon. I'm going to move forward to my Aquarius and Aquarius rising. So the full moon is happening at home in your fourth house, house of home, family. And, the full moon happening here when you're talking about things, property, materials, value, it could definitely bring shifts in your living situation, or family dynamics for that matter. Me being an Aquarius moon, gosh, I don't know that I'm ready for any more changes of home. I'm ready to just chill for a bit. But anyway, so Uranus here in the fourth is gonna it's gonna help you redefine stability and what it means to you. Um, and help you find security within rather than through external circumstances. So trust the changes that these are changes are going to actually foster your growth. And I do love that for you, Aquarians. And I think that the internal, handling those internal dynamics, I think we're a little more comfortable with, right? Saturn being our modern ruler kind of taught us that, right? It helps imbue us with that ability. So be flexible, I mean, maybe there's some redecorating you need to do, but being at home with family and roots and things like that, maybe, I just saw people going through photo albums. Maybe you need to kind of go through and look back at your roots. Maybe you need to do some redecorating, and just sprucing up the living situation a little bit. And maybe even just have some family members and friends over for dinner. I mean, I Cancer Venus, I do kind of love making people feel at home. So, Aquarius, I love you. I am you. And I wish you the best for this full moon. Now, last but never, ever, 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 never least is my Pisces. I've got so many Pisces and Pisces risings in my life. It's crazy. That's how it goes. But yeah, so with this full moon happening in your third house of communication, siblings, short distance travels, community. Expect new insights that actually change your perspective or help reshape it, at least. Uranus may bring up news or like weird shifts within your local connections. There might be somebody local that you didn't either know or that you come across that ends up being a pretty important part of your life randomly. I think Uranus is going to help with that. May also just have some unexpected news come through from siblings. But anyway, so Saturn does provide a grounding presence in your sign. It's going to help you express your truth with clarity and intention. Okay. So if you've been in need of something, um, whether it's just to say it or not, I know Pisces, a lot of you guys do struggle with actually spitting it out and saying what you really want or need. You guys are very selfless a lot of times. Um, or sometimes even just unclear on what it is that you or what it is or how it is that you want to say. So Saturn is going to help you be able to express that a little better, right? Being at this full moon in your third house, it very well just could be a time where you maybe just need to go out, do I just saw Pisces. I know y'all like not all of you. I know you guys like to drink and have fun and socialize and listen to music. Maybe go out to a local little sports bar, invite some friends, and you know, family, some siblings, some cousins, go out, just have a get together. Don't I mean if you're drinking and driving, use an Uber. But yeah, so anyways, I think it might just change your perspective a little bit. The Pisces with Pisces, you guys can internalize a lot and misinterpret how other people see you or how you come off, for example. And I guess we can all do this, right? To where we can think that somebody feels a certain way about us or you know, um, thinks something about it. But then again, it's not always the case. It's usually not the case. We create these scenarios that can roll in our heads, and that just becomes what it is, right? Like that just becomes what you believe, and whether or not it's fact. Okay, again, beliefs are not facts. Okay, so be open, be flexible, let yourself be willing to reconnect, to branch out to your community, maybe neighbors, if you just, if you're not close with your neighbors or and you'd like to be, maybe it's time to actually step outside and wave and say hi and go over and talk to the neighbor. You never know. You guys might actually have something in common and become best buds. So, anyways, if you're finding like family, if you have a certain belief system that your family thinks this certain thing about you, or they're judging you in this way, shape, or form, get out, let your inhibitions go, right? And just enjoy yourself, have fun, like I said, you very well may learn something new that might alter that perspective. So, um, just um, overall, I really do think this one's going to be a good one for you. I better pull you a card. I almost forgot. But but yeah, what do we got for Pisces? Pisces and boop dropped. What did I say? I can't make this shit up. Yeah. Three of Cups, third house, siblings, community, fun, celebration. Oh, I love this for you guys. Get out and just have fun being an individual amongst peers, friends, family. all the sorts. Anyways, I love that three that you guys got the Three of Cups. That just further affirms and resonate, like further affirms what I was feeling for you guys. So, anyways, what else? What else? What else? What else? Nothing else other than just to say I wish you all well during this full moon. You know, it's a great time for grounding and just realignment, right? Releasing those outdated values, that really you could give two shits about anymore. And just embrace what truly fulfills you. Taurus is all about the creature comforts, right? Without all the excess. Very simple, right? You know, if you want to cozy up in a big old fuzzy warm blanket with a cup of hot cocoa or hot toddy and watch a movie with your favorite person in the world, then do that. It's a chance for you to reevaluate security and honor what's essential. You know, remain open to those unexpected shifts because they will happen. And these are shifts that support your growth, all of our growth, right? So, this is us stepping into a new chapter with a new grounded heart, an open mind. Be open to change because that's the only thing in life that is consistent. And let go of the need to control the outcome or how the outcome comes to be, right? Anyways, I have talked your ears off today, but I truly do thank you again for your support and friendship. It's always a pleasure. In the meantime, I wish you all well through this new moon, and just want you to keep shining your lights, baby. Take care, and until next time, peace out.